YouTube, it's time to react to the ban list. A ban list is upon us. Whoop, let me take this down. This was from last night. A ban list is upon us, and it's time to react to it. So, yeah, let's jump into it, and I'll give you my thoughts. Calamities is banned. Now, this is great because Virtual World is very powerful. It's, obviously, it's the best place to go into Calamities. Now, they can't play around. They can go into Wolferjot, Stellar Wolf. They can make a ton of other plays, including ending on Baron de Fleur and Chuche and some other amount of negates. Maybe a Crystal Wing. But it's not as simple for them going into Calamities anymore. So it reduces the effectiveness of the deck a ton. This is a great hit on the ban list. Really good shot. Really good hit by Konami. Next, we have Imperial Order. Now, Imperial Order, obviously, is a really good ban because what deck used this? Let me turn down the volume a bit and we can get right back to it. So what deck used it was Eldritch, right? That's the one deck everyone knew for using it. So a card like IO would be banning IO really stops them, which is really good because that was a highly degenerate floodgate. So seeing IO go is really good. So I definitely agree with that. Vanities is a great hit. I'm so excited for this because Vanities was the floodgate I hate the most in the game because it tells your opponent they can't play the game. You can set up your big board, but they can't. So this card really getting banned is just great for Master Duel and great for everybody involved because then Philanderies can't play this. And that's very important for them because then they can't play this and lock you out of the game. Because everything on their field gets banished. So you really struggle to get rid of Vanities off their field. So really, really good. On top of that, we have Celestial to 2. Very nice. Good hit involved. Celestial to band, actually, not to 2. This stops DP in some ways because they can't draw 2, which is really nice. In Destiny, it really doesn't do too much, though, because they mostly dump Malicious and whatever the other one is that allows them to return Malicious to the top of the deck. But they can run those two to really get their engine going in there. So it's not really that relevant for Despia decks because they're going to be able to play the other D heroes to make it work, but it's definitely a good hit for the generalization of DP because DP and generalization, this getting hit is very, very good. So I am very happy with this. It stops the draw 2, and it does reduce some of the power of DP. Now next is Bamboozling Gossip. So Gossip is good because it stops Rongo Miniad. I think they should just went for Rongo in general rather than hit this, but good hit nonetheless, stopping Rongo on the ladder. Really, really good. Now, the thing is that for those thinking that you stop Phantom Knights, you haven't. Because they have a lot of combos with the Adventure Engine that don't go in the Rongo. And they can also go Dagda in the Scythe. So that would be a new route for them to lock you out of your turn. Which is very similar to DP where they have that extra deck lock. Cross out to 1. This is a great hit. Now, the thing with this going to 1 is that hitting hand traps for them is not going to be as consistent. So now, cross out going to 1 really restricts the ability for them to just auto-win by crossing out your Nibiru, your Ash Blossom, or similarly in the Mirror match. This card is extremely broken in the Mirror, because once you know it's the Mirror, you can start crossing out their Mirror targets. So if it's Prankage, you can cross out like a Dropsies or a Lampsies or something, and then they can't activate. Or cross out Pandemonium, and then they pretty much lose the duel on the spot. When they can't resolve Pandemonium, it becomes tough for them. So yeah, this is a really, really, really strong card that had to get hit, in my opinion. As far as it stopping other combo decks, yeah, the ability to stop hand traps, obviously good, as I said before. They do have ways around it. They can run triple tactics talent. We'll talk about that card in a second if you've never seen it on ladder before. But it is a card that will be mained with cross out gone. And it's very, very strong and very, very dangerous because it can result in being a pot of greed. most of the time. So you need to be careful with that. It is a very strong card. We'll talk about it soon. Next, we have Prank Kids Meow Moo. This is an excellent hit for Prank Kids. I am super stoked. I love Prank Kids as much as I do. They needed a hit. It was an unfair deck, and it needed to get knocked on the ban list. Meow Moo the one restricts them from really having that much of a follow-up. And if you call by Meow Moo, they're pretty much going to lose a lot of their follow-up. So call by Meow Moo becomes a lot stronger. They can only play one in the deck, and that means they can't follow up as easy on you. And if they are going to prank sit back in the end phase, then they can't double Butler Pop. Now, will that be relevant in terms of them having multiple hand traps in hand potentially? Maybe, maybe not. However, it's still a lot restrictive for them to only be on one Meow. So very, very good hit. That factor. Okay. Now, going down further, Fusion Destiny the one. Now, this is an okay hit, in my opinion. I mean, yes, it stops them from activating Fusion Destiny out of the hand if you negate Verte Anaconda, but they're still going to Verte it out of the deck, so it's just going to be equally as consistent for the most part as it was before. I'm not super stoked with this hit. I'm really not, but overall, it's fine. I don't think it changes too much, but it's fine overall. Now, on the semi-limited cards, we have Altergeist. Oh, we didn't talk about Prosperity. I'll get to that in 1 second. Altergeist Multi-Faker. This is a really good card to come back on the semi-limited list, because it's going to make Altergeist get a little bit more stronger, and they're going to be able to be a more viable deck to play. And going back on the fact of Prosperity, I'm not thrilled with this hit, because the problem is it hits a lot of the rogue decks that really want to run Prosperity. And before everybody jumps on me for saying, yeah, but you Fluanderies. I know. But Fluanders are going to get a lot more consistent in the future. They have a quick play spell that searches map or searches any Fluanderies and banishes one out of the deck, which enables them to chain block. Okay, so with that being said, it's not going to be that impactful, I don't think. And at the same time, they're also going to be able to play, what's the card? Yeah, they can also run Extravagance. So I really don't think this is going to be much of a hit to Fluanderies in the future. They're going to still be extremely powerful and extremely consistent with multiple Extravagance, their quick play spell, terraforming to get map, 3 map, 3 Anglin, and 3 Robina. Okay, so those cards are essentially going to replace this. They're going to get buffed. So in my opinion, it's not going to be that big of a hit to Fluanders in the future. If anything, they might get even better in the future. So, in my opinion, if you're going after it for Fluanderies, it's not going to be that relevant too much. Yeah, it'll make them more consistent in the future if they have this, but they're just going to replace it with Extravagance anyway. I mean, they can't dig directly for what they want, but, you know, they still have Extravagance, and they still have Duality on top of that. So, you know, I don't know about this. I feel like it'll hit the rogue decks more. It does stop Eldritch for searching for a particular floodgate, but they're still going to run Extravagance. So let's not get too hung up over that. Another deck that got hit here, which I'm very happy about. Another deck that got unhit was Salamangreat Gazelle. I love Salamangreat. And Gazelle, I predicted, originally would come off the ban list, and it did. It came to 2. Gazelle could come to 2, I said before in many of my streams. It wouldn't change much as far as the game. And Gazelle coming to 2 does help the deck get open it a little bit more and combo off faster into like Access Code and stuff like that. So it's really good. Skill Drain to 2 is great because of Eldritch and stuff. I would have rather seen this go to 1, but the 2 is respectable. That means they can't draw it as frequently as much or open up as many as they generally do. And then like if you get rid of one, they activate another. That's not going to be as consistent, which it can be a bit of a pain in the neck. Fire Formation Tanky. This is a good card to go to 2, but it's a little bit late in my opinion. It's a direct hit to Zoo and Tri-Brigade, but Tri-Brigade's not really that relevant, but Zoo is, so there's that. And Night Assailant, if you don't know what it does, it was a card that came out in Ancient Sanctuary. It has 2 effects. When it's flip summoned or flip face up, it's a Man-Eater bug, and when it's discarded to the hand to grave, you target a flip monster in your graveyard and add to your hand. It was basically used for a lot of loops shenanigans that went on the TCGs to be able to Night Assailant and do a lot of things back in the day, but that's here nor there now. Okay. About the ban list, what's my score? It's a 6 out of 10. I think that they did a really good job of pushing this in the right direction. However, it's not there. How can Auroradon not hit in the game? Okay, that's very disappointing that they didn't get after one of those 2 cards, in my opinion. So, I don't think they did a super amazing job on the ban list. I think they did a good job, but not a great job. I don't think they did enough. So, I'm going to say that the meta is going to remain a lot of the same right now. And I know a lot of people are going to say, how can you say that? PFD got hit. Rongo got hit. They went after Frankets. Yeah, well, Eldritch is still going to be relevant. Flanders is still going to be good because they're going to replace Prosperity with Extravagance. And Halcarodon is still going to be everywhere because you have none of those combos untouched. Now, before everyone clouds me with the Nibiru without cross out, yes, that is terrific, but you got to also remember this. They're going to have Tactics talent, and they're also going to have enough ways to go into Cherubini to dump their Adventure Engine. So where they're missing the consistency on crossout, they can add more extenders for those crossout missers, and make it more consistent for them to go into their Adventure Engine first. Like Tracker, what they would do in the upper echelon is you would go a level 3 into Tracker, and then Tracker goes into Cherubini, and then Cherubini dump Enchantress. You go for your Enchantress effect, then you normal summon the Sangan, and you do your combo after you set up the Griffin Rider to play through the Nibiru. So this is something I want you to keep your mind in. Alright, that there's still ways for them to get through Nibiru. You're still going to have to open up multiple different hand traps. And Call by the Grave is still at 2. So keep that in mind. They still have 2 Call by the Grave. And another problem too is the downside of hitting crossout is that Maxi is in the game, right? So Maxi is going to run a lot more rampant now. There's not going to be as many counters to it. Now, while people may view that as a good thing, you may say, oh yes, but it's the necessary of evil to stop combo decks. You've got to remember that that's also a counter too, because it means their Maxi is going to resolve a lot more frequently, which again brings up the idea of coin flipping. Who gets the Maxi first, who resolves it first, is going to win the game, right? So we're back to let's flip the coin meta. So this is something I want you to keep an eye on, all right, in the future. But one more benefit too to the idea of Flanders is that them hitting crossout is a good hit against Flanders because now they can't cross out your Imperm as much, and the Imperm becomes much more effective. But I think once they get the quick play spell, Ash isn't going to be that effective because they're going to have 6 openers that are going to stop you on that front. Okay. With that being said, 6 out of 10, maybe a 7 for now. Hulk Aurora, still going to keep this meta relatively the same in my opinion. But if you want to watch my streams live, make sure you follow me, Twitch description below. We just did a Rarity Series tournament. The normal. If you missed it, make sure you get over here for the rare one. I will setting up Smash. I'm planning it for somewhere in early to mid-September. So you're going to want to be there. It's going to probably be a weekend after the first stage in the Duels Cup. We're not going to do it during second stage weekend. The week before that. Okay. I'll let you know the date. I'm setting it up on Smash. If you want to see me do live twins to Max, make sure you follow me on Master Duel. I have an account for it. Okay. I mean, that's a Max. To climbing it up, live twins up the ladder. Make sure you follow me. And I'm also going to do an IDS climb. We're going to try to get both to Diamond 1 this season. And in Duel Links, we will be doing Duel Links streams after Paradox comes out. We'll be back in Duel Links for our COD climbs. Until next time, this is your boy, Sean Matrai, signing out. Peace.